Throw Gang, we are joined by the suiting sultan, the lapel overlord, the titan of tailoring, the made-to-measure maestro, composing the clothing, call him Claude, how he flex in Debussy. He puts the Riz in Parisian. His suits hit from the front and back, Eiffel Tower. Ops must be French, how they whine about his cheese and bread. Oh, you're not fucking with the second arrondissement? How about you have seconds on these nuts? The Baron of Bells, the bespoke big boss, the follicle flow pharaoh, the shirting shaman, call him Jim Henson, how he's dressing these frogs. Must work at Poulet Free Kentucky, how he's serving up these two pieces. The brand is so money, it got him huzz and bands. Call him COVID-19, how his looks are killing the 70s. Must be a French baker because he a bag getter. Founder of Husbands, Nicolas Gabard. Nicolas, how the hell are you?
I'm fine.
Oh,
You need the mic, though.
I'm fine, but with this guy, I don't know him. I want to be this guy.
Yeah.
That's you.
Your one note to us was go easy on the slang, and you just hit him right off the top with a
I
nuclear
almost
warhead.
understood everything.
Yeah,
Guys. Thank you.
Le Riz.
Yeah. Nick,
Riz.
thank you for joining us.
No, that's my pleasure.
Yeah.
You're
a busy
you are
man.
doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Guys, clothing. When I launched Husbands 13 years ago, and especially classic menswear, was totally lost.
Right.
What I say is classic menswear in a way was for you loser. Yeah. And so we started. This market becomes so complex and sophisticated that people lose all the information.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to rebuild a kind of full prescription ecosystem with new journalism, with new blogger, with the forum, with influencer, with new journalists, with podcasters, bringing new information. So we are part of the same ecosystem, our brands. We need to do a great job with the product and the experience we offer, but we really need that you guys, give information, be pedagogical in a way. Because,
Whoa. Please use English words we understand.
Don't get me wrong. You are not serious, and you did this in a really good way.
Thank you.
But we really need, the market now is streetwear and sportswear. In the 70s, the market was shoot. So it was really easy to dress because your father dress, that your teacher dress, your boss dress, the actors you liked dress, everybody was dressing. So, it was really easy. You have just to copy.
Yeah.
Now, and it was really difficult to dress in jeans.
Yeah.
In the 70s. You need to, catch very good vibes, and it was difficult. Now, when I started Husbands, really tailoring was
For losers.
Yeah.
You said it.
I always been a loser. So it's okay for me.
There's still losers
But
out there.
you know
Let's be
what I
clear.
mean? There were, in economical terms, friction to enter in the market.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a consumption, you need to understand the product.
Yeah.
So you help us to understand. So
And that's why we're here.
Yeah, we can only-
kind words I can bring.
And that's the end of the podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Nicholas. We just hope to be
That's
as
the new name of your podcast. This is the University of Cool.
We're only doing this podcast that one day I can afford to buy myself a husband's pinstripe suit, such as like what you're wearing, because this is my next my grail. Honestly,
I can already afford it.
Kind of this, yeah.
Thank you. But
thank you.
We need to find.
I tried to make an appointment for the trunk show, but it all sold out.
Price is important.
Sure.
But we had a lot of discussion about our range price. I know it's expensive.
It's not
but
that
not
relative.
That much because
It's value.
Full canvas suit, British fabric, made by hand, with such obsession about details, style. We know that it's a kind of aggressive price.
No,
I know that
it's
people
not.
won't understand this, but believe me, the brands we cross in our factories, double or triple the price of our products.
What's like an average?
And what we want to, I had a discussion with a journalist and he said, that's really difficult because we will really want to be aggressive on the price. And we say, but keep this price because you will keep the interesting guy in the room.
Absolutely.
Because,
the creatives,
when you want
broke.
to afford
They need
4,000, euro shoots, you will lose all the interesting guys. So I'm super happy because at the end of the day, our community is growing with, the cool guys like you. So save money. And
exactly.
Stop buying $9 cortados, such as like this, for example. Before we're going to talk about all that. in great detail and great depth. But before we get into all things husbands and all things Nicolas, Lawrence,
we'd like to do a little fit check. Are you wearing all husbands today, head to toe?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the glasses and the watch?
Yeah. The Temps Cartier and the GMM because Jérôme is doing a great job. By the way, we are doing their uniform for the sale guys.
Oh, cool.
They are opening. They're really successful. We are really happy. And Jérôme told his team, he want to have the sale guys dress with the great style. So he wanted to have the best style sale guy in the world.
Of course.
So he has already, the best sunglasses. So he asked us to make the uniform. So we are really happy with this special collaboration.
And what about your coat and le scarf?
Everything is husbands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a super old coat. We call this the long single-breasted. We have a name for half of patterns. It's Ventura. But it's super long, and the fabric is a kind of heavy twill, and it probably is 6 years old.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It felt beautiful when I was hanging it up for you. Good
I
hand
like
feel.
it. I like it. And that's the magic of husbands, Even so, we designed these patterns maybe 7 years ago.
Okay.
And I still love it.
Yeah.
It's not about only building, novelties on new patterns. I start to love again my old silhouettes, because the beginning of Husbands was full of Heidi. It was 2012. So it was really rock silhouette, skinny pants, high-waisted, double-waisted, but and then we started to move into the 70s. Then we recently moved into the 80s and the 90s. I know that a lot of people see ourselves, stick a bit in the 70s.
Yeah.
But definitely all the times of the menswear, the 30s, the roaring 20s, crazy. With Charlie Chaplin, he has such a great
interesting
style.
mustache.
But of course, 70s is a big inspiration because 70s is the last day of the tailoring.
Yeah.
So this is the last day people was wearing tailoring in nightclub.
Men used to dress to fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's just sweats.
Yeah.
Athleisure.
Fear of God essentials.
Yeah.
What about your socks?
I like it, but maybe we will talk about this.
Let's do the fit check. What about your socks?
So this is all socks we did in a capsule collection. So it's really high. It's a mix of nylon and wool, Australian wool. The nylon is super resistant. I don't like 100% wool. I like when you have nylon because it's resilient, solid, and you can even wear it in summer. I don't like cotton socks.
Okay.
So, that's a little bit obsession for my socks.
Yeah.
Then I have these glossy boots from Husbands.
Your go-to,
Yeah, the best.
Yeah, this is...
Big heel.
Sorry?
How big is the heel?
It's 5 centimeters.
Does every husband's shoe have a big fucking heel? Because Eduardo was trying to get us to try some shoes on last time we were there, and it was like, dog. I love being 6 feet tall.
These are high heels.
I love being 2 meters.
A lot of people are doing great job doing super classic Oxfords and loafers. So what's the point for us to do this?
Yeah.
What we want is to build some, more playful footwear.
Sexy.
So we started with Chelsea boots because again, that's, the idea of Husbands was in 2012 to see that in a way, the functional menswear, the functional shooting was dead. So we needed to rebuild something new. And so when you have a double-breasted, shoulder stripe, maybe or single-breasted like this, pinstripes, it's really banker suits. It's really Savile Row City. But suddenly, just with the adding of these Chelsea boots, it's become Brian Ferry or,
rock and
David
roll.
Bowie. Yeah, exactly. Just that's the same outfit.
Yeah.
But the symbolic value you are putting in the suits is suddenly, with a kind of redesirability with this.
Yeah.
Recontextualizing it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. So, of course, we have some classic loafers with the buckle, which is really beautiful.
Yeah.
Quiet, because, of course, we have banker and lawyers, so you need to propose these kind of things. And then we have this kind of beautiful loafers coming from the 80s, 90s. the best brand doing this was Bali. So Bali was a Switzerland brand, Swiss brand, and they are doing this beautiful, and really fragile in a way.
Ruuji killed it for a
not
season.
that good. No, the craft wasn't so good.
Yeah.
So the idea was, let's do the same, but with a beautiful craft.
Okay.
With a beautiful leather. So of course we have these heels.
Yeah.
And we have these small details because, we want to have fun.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
And what about le sous-vêtement, the panties? Lingerie.
That's classic brief, that's Calvin Klein brief.
Okay.
So sorry to be so classic. But
No, don't apologize.
So, but at the end of the day, I would like to go in this market,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pajamas, gowns. Yeah, because that's, Charvet. Charvet
of
in
course.
Paris. They have such an incredible offer, but that's super expensive.
Yeah.
The seal is crazy. And again, we would like to create, our own vision on this part.
Of course.
And, maybe change a little bit the lines to have something more relevant. Because again, husbands is not a bit about copy and paste. It's just copycat. Is try to understand what a product was the meaning of a product in the period it existed, and then make it relevant again for a new crowd.
Right.
So it's really the idea. I don't like when some people are copy their past, and that's beautiful, but that's not the point of husbands.
So how are you going to understand and research underwear from the 70s? It couldn't have been that comfortable. Men's le sous-vêtement from the 70s.
Yeah, it was full of polyester.
And lice.
No, we are again, everybody is seeing us as a 70s brands because we started to be well known without this collection. But again, I like all the times, all the periods of the menswear. Believe me, Armani in the 80s, it's crazy. Martha Margiela, Helmut Lang, Jill Sanders in the 90s, Comme des Garçons in the 90s. It's crazy.
Right now, are you focused on the 90s? Just personally?
Yeah. And I think even more, maybe with the picture and the visual identity, I'm really fond of what Martha Margiela and Jill Sanders, Helmut Lang did. It was really discreet. It was, after the 80s, we were flamboyant. They started to have a really low-key communication. And I like this kind of do-it-yourself communication, really fanzine. So I think we will move forward in this direction. So really 90s for the communication. But of course, the 90s was crazy because 90s is all about the face. I don't know if you know this magazine.
British magazine.
It was crazy. And it was, Britpop was full of rage. So it was, pulp. It was it was Oasis. You have the Stone Roses. All this guy was, had a beautiful style. You had New Order. A lot. Morrissey, the Smiths, more 80s. But so it was the 90s in the UK was really, really interesting. And suddenly, with one of my young customers, I'm totally obsessed by skate culture. The skating culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm totally obsessed.
Skate.
Yeah, skate culture. How you say this in
Skateboarding.
Skateboarding. And I start to getting it. I start to say, okay, I understand. In the 90s, this guy, the street cred, that's insane, So I'm watching, in my hotel, I'm watching so many videos.
Really?
Say, discover your culture, guy.
Right. Like you're on YouTube?
The guy of, Jim Greco. And say, who is this guy?
The Piss Drunks. Okay. Baker Skateboards. Okay. That's very cool.
So, the style, the earthwork, they are, that's so courageous.
Did you see any Chad Muska?
Yeah.
Cadillac Muscalade.
And
2 weeks in a row.
And I started to understand, the power of Supreme.
Yeah.
Because when you're in Paris, you don't get it. When you are in New York,
You get it.
Yeah, Supreme makes sense. I understand now.
Context is king.
Yeah. Is there an era that you think was terrible in suiting and tailoring?
Oh yeah, of course, a lot.
What was the worst? What was like the low point for suiting and tailoring
Sorry.
in the 20th, 21st century?
The aughts.
No, I would say, till the 70s, craft was beautiful. The making was beautiful. So it was really easy to dress. I would say in a kind of paradox, that the last big thing in tailoring was Hedi Slimane at Durham. So it's 2002 till 2000. I would say 9.
Okay, yeah.
2000, because then he left for Saint Laurent and that built and some, even more skinny silhouette. But so suddenly tailoring was relevant again. But doing this, he managed to do this with, body which, doesn't exist.
Right.
I know these guys because I dress them now.
Well, it's your body.
Yeah.
You, Sam Hine, that's it.
Yeah, it's
models.
It's very limited.
It's tall guy, it's 1 meter and 95 centimeters.
Okay.
Super thin, super tall.
Yeah,
and
100 pounds soaking wet.
Everything works on him.
He's a clothing
I had
hanger.
this experience with one of my customers. We have some golden rules for tailoring, for the length.
Yeah.
If you are tall, we need to increase the length. Suddenly this guy tried a super short jacket. It was super skinny, so it was short and it was a small size. And that's fantastic.
Tom Brown. Shrunken suit.
So I started to understand the way that Eddie was working, and it was about fantasy. It was about dreaming, and that's the way of fashion.
Small boys.
And tailoring is real body. We cannot deal with dream.
Models
that's
only.
real body. That's shoulders. That's muscle, especially with American customer who are
fatter.
they
We're
are
fatter.
working out. You exercise. I even didn't ask the question because everybody has crazy back.
We got crazy back in this country.
Yeah. But in French, no one is exercising.
Well, everyone's walking in France. We're just
smoking.
we're just driving around.
In 2005, Hedi was full of rage. You are too young. You are too young, guys.
We kind of remember
to
we were there.
understand. It was crazy. Suddenly everything seems outdated.
Right.
The big guys on the runaway.
Yeah.
It was so ridiculous. So in a glimpse on an eye, suddenly it was full of rage. And then, of course, the market, which is always lazy, copy the silhouette.
Of course.
But this time for real body. And then it ruins the silhouette. It was a nightmare. And then, when I say that tailoring was for loser, it's this kind of tailoring.
Right.
Yeah, you can short jacket, skinny pants, but when you are, a guy of a super muscular,
A regular guy,
you are
even.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a kind of stupid costume for a kid.
Yeah.
So
Dress for your body type.
I believe that the worst time of tailoring was just after the revolution of Eddie.
Okay.
So really, tailoring was in the radar again. It was sexy again, but in the same time, the market made a really bad, interpretation of what Eddie did in a really fantastic
They
way.
overcorrected.
Yeah. And since then, we are still in this kind of skinny pants, low rise. I had in hands, because in Paris right now, there's a guy who has a full collection of Eddie stuff to a Durham. So, all the fans are crazy. They brought me the suit, and that fabric is not that crazy.
No.
But the cut is, spot on.
Did you put it on? Did
It's
it
really
fit?
good. The studio was really good. The position of the first button, the length of the jacket. That the guy knew what he was doing.
Right.
Did you put it on?
Yeah.
Did it fit?
Yeah.
See?
There you go.
Yeah. It was
You're that
incredible.
guy.
Walking
it was
clothes rack.
incredible.
Yeah.
It was long jacket. I believe this stuff was for the runaway.
Yeah.
I don't
Probably.
think it was, the classic ready to wear.
No.
But, the making was beautiful. My only concern was the fabric, which was, but that's
Not up to snuff.
AD obsession to use, bad fabric at a crazy
Good silhouette,
price.
bad fabric.
Well, hopefully he's not listening. Nicolas, speaking of designers, as we move from the fit check, you're drinking a Topo Chico sparkling water, low con gas of that gas. Do you know how much you look like Yves Saint Laurent?
No.
Really?
No.
You don't see this?
You're wearing the same glasses.
I play with this image. But, to be honest, no. Not at all.
Are we just making that up, or as Americans?
But I say no, and I have the Yves.
Yeah.
So,
Come on.
that-
No,
yeah.
We.
You flatter me.
No, because maybe I think
Yeah.
Shit.
A little bit, right? A little bit.
No, yeah, but there's no comparison. This guy is a genius. He's a couturier. He's a designer. Even if since I'm a kid, I'm totally obsessed by clothes and by fabrics and cuts. I have always this imposter syndrome.
Really? Still?
I'm not a couturier. I'm not a designer. I have just this obsession of style who come from, my culture with movies and, all the music I loved when I was a teenager. So I build my culture like this. I still watch a lot of movies.
Husband's named after a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cassavetes movie.
Yeah.
Classic.
Seen it?
Yes.
Yeah, the Cassavetes movie. Because,
How many stars?
Don't worry about it.
you already watch it?
Yeah,
guys?
it's okay.
Yeah, don't lie.
I like other John Cassavetes better.
Yeah, that
Killing of a Chinese Bookie.
I wasn't.
What?
I
That's a
was
movie.
more in So this is the snobbish moment.
Let's go.
French snobbish moment.
Of course.
I was more into faces and shadows, so more this experimental work. This more narrative work was not less my thing. But when I launched Husband, everything has been, registered. In the trademark, you are all the name as registered.
Right.
And I wanted to dress real guys with wrinkle, story, mistress. It was it came in opposition with all these beautiful models, super young in Prada advertising. So, my call to action to this it's near zero.
Right.
I saw this beautiful guy, but, I am, a mid-age guy. I don't want this. I can understand this picture is not for the man, it's for the woman.
Right.
Who will tell them. So,
but does not being a designer and not being like too exclusionary and too like snobbish, is that attractive for the customer where anybody can walk into Husbands and feel like they're going to come out a better person, a better dressed guy, versus like walking into a high-end fashion store that could be more intimidating?
Yeah.
So is you, because you were an attorney and you had an advertising agency and you don't consider yourself a designer, is that helpful to build the brand and attract an audience?
Yeah, of course, because so I'm gonna finish with Husband.
Yes, please.
You get me.
The show is yours.
And one of my friends called me and said, I just watched this movie, the Husband's movie, and this is exactly the guys you want to dress.
Right.
Their story, going to a funeral, crying.
3 regular guys.
Having mistress, problem with the wife. You can imagine.
Yeah.
So suddenly I said, okay, I checked and it was available.
There you go.
And
the lawyer and you had to do the due diligence.
Yeah.
Then, so let's get back to your question.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not coming from fashion, in a way, give me this kind of imposter syndrome. But also, I look at things in a really naive way.
Okay.
So it's really what people are doing this. It's not, fashion are doing this forever, so I need to follow the path. It's really questioning everything because I'm new and super naive. So when I launch Husband, I say, what people are doing this? I don't want to do this. So everything is challenged at Husbands. Nothing is obvious because probably of my maverick position in this kind of family or community. Fashion designer, they have a credibility because they learn fashion, they can sketch. I cannot sketch. That's really limited for me. So I need to show picture or I need to put words on the silhouette I want to build. It's really limited. So it's in a way, it's really frustrating, but in a way, it's also super motivated because, again, you move forward with no boundaries and no limits.
Right.
And of course, I spent so much money in clothing before, and that's the real point. I launched Husband because,
you're broke.
I was broke, all my money. And I remember I told everybody, no, that's not a new suit. That's the same blue suit. And it was a big bespoke suit, 4,000 euros.
Oh, no.
That's the blue suit. But,
Yeah.
So,
You had a problem.
Yeah.
You were lying to your loved ones.
A lot of people, I'm a liar. So suddenly people are discovering, my past.
The first step is admitting a problem. There you go.
Yeah, but no, again, when I launched Husbands, I had all this full experience with bespoke and fashion. And I started to think about a new experience, a new retail experience. So welcoming people, giving them joy, give them, a lot of confidence, listen to them, with no bad words. Because people are coming here at the trunk show and and say, I know nothing. And
right.
Say, but we all started knowing nothing.
True. Right.
So there's no bad words. And you want to, I'm totally agnostic with, shoes. You want to wear it with sneakers? Yeah, that's okay. No. Believe me, it will be really nice. So it's you again.
But Sam Hine got a bad experience in the store.
We fixed that though.
We fixed it.
Yeah, I remember when I heard the podcast. I said, shit, there is this, crisis meeting and say, but what happened, guys?
To balance that, I went into Husbands and Eduardo immediately was like, oh my, like treated me like royalty and was like, by the way, I'm also a fan of the podcast. And now whenever I'm in Paris, whenever like you guys get new stuff in, he's texting me like, yo, we got the new stuff in. I know you like this shirt. Yeah. I know you like this trench coat. Yeah. If you're interested, I'll hold one for you. So the service is A1.
Speaking of overcorrecting.
Yeah, but we really need to be always on,
But the retail experience is a must visit in Paris.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and retail experience, it's a never-ending story.
Right.
You need really to be on the line. You need to be there every day. You need to find new communication. That's really, you need to be obsessed.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you really need to love people.
Absolutely.
And that's about husbands. Our mission statement. Yeah. It's to make people happy again, dressing with beautiful fabric.
Is that the secret to such amazing retail environment?
Oh, yeah. You are too kind because, we know, sometimes I'm really frustrating. And I think, the sales guy too, and Julian, my CEO too. I think maybe the secret is built on different points. The first point is that we have a clear vision of what we are doing and why. Mm-hmm. This husband is here to give the people to dress, the desire to dress again. Mm-hmm. And doing this, feel beautiful, confident. We want to bring desire of clothing in people's minds again. Mm-hmm. So all the rest is only tools. So you need to have this kind of red thread in all the company. It starts with the studio. We want to create this fantastic, we have to bring a new vision for classic menswear. We need to have a point of view. Why we need to have this peacoat, for example. We made a peacoat. It was a mix between, US Navy peacoat of the 30s and 70s peacoat of Saint Laurent. So we build our own and say, let's try to make it relevant. So we create this article on the website explaining why was the peacoat. And, we bring some information, new words, new utility. And so it starts from the studio, the communication, and then the sales guy a clear vision of what the peacoat, the husband's peacoat.
The why.
So if you have this clear vision of your mission statement, this is not just the vision of Nicolas Gabard. It's all the team of husbands, moving in the same direction.
Mm-hmm. How big is the team now?
20 people.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
20, that's a lot of husbands.
But I'm super happy. I'm lucky because I have this young team, super invested, super empowered, super.
Who's your favorite?
I cannot say.
Eduardo.
This is of course Eduardo. No, I love
shout out Eduardo.
Everyone have his own vision. They are so dedicated to the brand. Mm-hmm. So, I'm super lucky. Yeah. Of course, sometimes it's really frustrating because, we are doing fashion. It's, that's really difficult. The production is difficult because you experiment so many difficulties and so many frustration. But, at the end of the day, I'm super lucky because, every morning I'm super happy. Don't know if they are, but believe me,
I'm sure they are.
I am.
You're happy. That's what matters. The boss is happy.
So
just don't email them after hours.
Yeah. And they keep you young, right? You said they keep you young.
Yeah, exactly. I often say that husband is my past. So my obsession with the past my old movies, my old music. But husbands is this, it's super boring. And this is the encounter in a kind of, over French snobbish moment, a kind of dialectical Hegel moment. So that's the dialectical moment, shift between me and I would say their relevancy, their modernity. They are, in real life.
Right.
Sometimes life is too rude for me because of my past. So I try to escape and they are there. And sometimes, I put some product and say, that's the point, Nicolas. It doesn't make any sense. We need to, so I think it's me with the team which create this kind of beautiful result of something relevant for a young guy.
Absolutely.
So first, mission statement, clear mission statement. So the sales guy know what they are doing. Then I would say, treated people like you want to be treated. So you
the
treat
golden
people,
rule.
Yeah. Say the truth. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
If it doesn't match everybody, you have to tell the truth, guy.
Yeah.
In a really, diplomatic way. But, at the end of the day, people are asked to get out of the store with a beautiful outfit. So we need to find the perfect combination, the perfect balance. And definitely, sometimes we need to change people's minds. People want a double-breasted, super wide trousers, and they need to have a single-breasted with a tapered, because that's better on their body. So for me, you need to treat people like you want to be treated. I would say then the obsession of the centimeter. Tailoring is about centimeters.
Right.
I don't know about fashion. Fashion is about, you can
fantasy
float in the space, But
it's
again,
conceptual.
it's real body. So 1 centimeter, it's, the sum up of all stuff.
Yeah.
The way the first button is attached, the padding here, the length of a jacket, the length of the back of a jacket, everything is a meaning. So we need to spend a lot of time about centimeters. We need to look at our customers.
What's the husband's house style? Just generally speaking, with suiting, what's the house style if you had to describe it? Because it is about length and width and height.
Yeah, what we like is all, it's shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Of course.
Strong shoulders.
Yeah, high-waisted trousers. So I would say high-waisted
belly
trousers.
button?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But before everything, it's a question of comfort, not just a question of style. So people, it's always the market. They try to imitate the jeans because of the sportswear. So, but for me, you have to trust the classic. You don't have to change the balance of a suit. There are golden rules.
Yeah.
We need to respect them. We need to have respect for the genealogy of tailoring. This is the story of tailoring. Of course, we can play with it. So I would say that everything starts with high-waisted trousers, natural position of the trousers. And then it could be a really wide trousers, flare trousers, but we start to like again a kind of tapered one, which is more slim, which we call this the old husbands, but it starts to be really interesting again. And you have to be really humble because, everything's changed in menswear. And you have to change everything. It's like the, a Leopardo movie of Visconti. This is the Gepard. So Visconti, in this fantastic movie, Burt Lancaster say, if we want things stay the same, everything has to change.
Right. Okay.
You know what?
Change is the only constant.
That's the perfect definition of classic menswear.
Very Buddhist.
Shout out Burt Lancaster.
Yeah. And a big part, I have a lot of respect for the classic menswear. We have fantastic competitors. But a lot of people, they stay the same without changing.
Yeah.
So it's become, outdated.
Adapt or die.
Yeah. You need to be
Stasis
relevant. It
can be the enemy.
It's new used. It's new needs, even symbolic needs. It's new way of life. It's people are not driving a Bentley of don't have a driver. So people have real life. They are riding a bike. So we need to adapt to. So I would say that high-waisted trousers is the beginning, and then probably we like longer jackets.
So like
Because
elongate the body.
It brings drama and elongate the silhouette of our customers. So it's always surprising, high-waisted trousers and one jacket, and you transform the guy in something totally different. And I really like this moment where the guy is discovering himself in the mirror.
Right, in real time.
Yeah. And suddenly it's, what? It's possible again?
Holy shit, who's this guy?
Yeah, it's what we really want to do. And when this thing happened, I know that we have the best job in the world.
Yeah. You're doing the Lord's
making
work.
people beautiful.
Yeah.
So husbands is not about cut, fabric, our obsession, beautiful images. Of course, it's really important because it drives ourselves. But, at the end of the day, it's about people.
Yeah.
And, the last point of the great experience, the great retail experience is loving people.
Yeah.
You have to love them.
That's very French.
Love them.
Love and desire.
Even if they drive you crazy with, sometimes people are so nerdy. So it will be, I want to try.
Right.
Is that the worst type of customer? The customer that knows too much?
No.
Okay.
No. Sometimes it's the customer who know nothing.
Okay.
No, I don't think you have some categories.
Yeah. They're all worthwhile.
They're all great. We love them all.
It's people knowing that sometimes they are pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So they know they are.
Yeah.
But they cannot behave in a different way. So that's okay for me.
What about a customer that comes in and unfolds everything, tries on everything, and then walks out, doesn't buy anything?
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
Okay, don't do that.
But this is part of our job. We need to be grateful. We need to be grateful. When I started Husbands and I sold my first shoot, and I see a guy giving this credit card, and say he's giving his own money.
Yeah.
Well, the bank's money.
I never forgot this. And it's why I'm not good at pricing.
What was the first suit? Do you remember what it was?
It was a Prince of Wales.
Okay. Classic check.
Really, it was a Fox Prince of Wales. One button, peak lapel, low rise. It was really about strokes. At this time, it was really strokes. So I have this.
Strokes. Okay.
Yeah. So I had this picture of, I thought it was Nick Valenci, maybe Julian Casablanca with this kind of super cool tailoring.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to, of course, I want the double-breasted, super classic, but I would like to try this. And to be honest, it was a mistake.
Okay. Great. Do you wear a suit every day, Nicolas?
Yeah.
Every day. How many suits do you own?
Ooh.
Not that much.
Oh, come on.
No, believe me. You know why? Because
it's expensive.
Yeah.
Are they all husbands?
No, because what I told to my team is we have so many possibilities on so many fabric that you cannot choose right now. You have to wait for. If you have this idea in the mind, after 3 months, okay, let's do it. And I'm always like this. I'm totally fond of fabric. I want to develop new fabric. I want to go to the archives of the mills we are working with. So my obsession is about fabric.
Yeah.
So it's all like, this fabric is crazy. Oh, I just watched this movie with this fabric. So I have so desire and I want so many things that I need to wait for.
Okay.
And what happened is that I have always new desire, new needs.
Right.
So it never lasts 3 months. So at the end of the day, I launch nothing.
Right. None of those suits get made.
Or the same suits. This suit, the pinstripes, I have in 3 styles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the tapered one, the white trousers on the straight leg.
Right.
And I have a double-breasted, a notch lapel on single, and a peak lapel.
That's interesting that you have the same fabric, but in different cuts.
You need to, and I started to understand my style.
Okay.
Maybe we will have, some words about, at the end of the day, you need to understand who you are.
Who are you?
The guy you
He's a tailor.
Just the guy in the introduction.
Okay.
I am this guy.
Yeah.
I want to be this guy. No, you
Poulet
need
Free
to
Kentucky.
understand, I'm a tall guy, thin.
Yeah.
10. I'm 15'5", I'm 55. So, you need to play with this. When you are young, you can experiment a lot. You can play jeans. On all my young guys, they are jeans, and I love jeans. And when I design a jeans with my studio guys, I see myself in it.
Right.
I say, oh yeah, I will be like this, and I will be in the streets, because since I'm super grounded designer, I need to see myself in the clothes I want to put in collection. So it's super grounded, and I see myself. And so, and then when the jeans arrive, I'm saying, oh, it's not my thing.
Wait, so how many jeans do you own?
You know, I'm ridiculous.
When was the last time you wore jeans?
Sorry?
When was the last time you wore jeans?
It was my jeans.
Okay.
So yeah. I end using our own jeans.
Do you wear?
But I think it was an edit jeans.
Okay.
And then I really like the 635 Wrangler.
Okay.
Which is tapered, slightly flare. You know, it's $35. You know, it's nothing.
Yeah, right.
And the style is great.
Do you wear shorts?
Of course, you know, on the website, you know, the style is totally...
It's terrible, yeah.
Do you wear, besides that when on holiday, do you wear shorts at all?
No.
Okay.
Don doesn't wear shorts.
And I'm totally ridiculous, and that's not a problem, you know.
That's who you are.
I understand.
That's why we love you.
I am the only guy in the plane in summer wearing a suit.
On the airplane?
Yeah.
Best dressed guy on the plane.
I remember, you know, I told my customers that because in a way I am in a mission. I want people dressed again.
Yeah.
So
You're a billboard for husbands. So
I know, you know. So I will give you two feedback. So I told my customers, and I was in Palma, in Mallorca, in Spain, you know, and I arrived at the airport after 2-hour flight, and then I stumbled upon with two of my customers.
Oh, really?
I say, shit, you are in shit. You are not a liar. Say, guy, and you know, it was so warm, and I was so
sweating,
ridiculous, because again, I'm the only. But you know, I started to see some guy in shoot in the airport.
Really?
So I say, maybe I am not the only one. And you know, I did an interview maybe 8 years ago, and the journalist asked me this. You know, you always wearing suit, and I say, yeah, because that's comfortable and that's my style.
The beach,
like high-waisted. You know, I feel comfortable.
Right.
You know, I feel. This is my uniform. This is my protection. This is my language.
Right. Your armor,
Yeah, I feel so comfortable. And I told this, and it happened. It was the COVID that I had my old Durham, you know, denim, and I said, you know, I just, you know, because in France it was forbidden to get out, so you had to write your own paper, your own authorization. With the bureaucracy of French, you know, stupidity. So that's Kafka, you know, that's Kafka. And so I get out with my jeans, old Durham, 5 minutes.
Okay.
But a guy saw me and put a comment under the video. He's a liar.
Wow.
I saw himself. I saw him in a jeans.
We got denim rats out here.
Dude.
So I cannot move, you know, in something else.
Oh no, he got in your head
for the rest of my life.
You're
5 minutes.
But, you know,
you're a prisoner of your own design.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. And you know, I feel comfortable. And so when you are young, you can experiment, and then you start to understand your body.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, there are a lot of things, you know, people are saying, try the shades, try colors. That's not my thing. I'm really good in gray, stripes, and blue. That's it. And you start to understand who fits you, who you want to be. And I want to be a quiet guy. You know, I want to work. I want to be, of course, I like to be, elegant, but, you know, that's not my obsession. I want to have few things and don't think about it. I know the job is done. And,
a nice, simple life.
Yeah. And it happens around 35, 40 years old, so you are quite young to find yourself guy.
Thank you. Totally, dude.
You understand.
The mouth tape is working.
When you are young, you have a lot of inspiration. You have a lot of, you know, style inspiration. You know, when I was
fantasy that you're talking about.
Yeah. I was full of Serge Gainsbourg, you know, Jarvis Cocker, you know, David Bowie, Brian Ferry. You know, I was, you know, full of this guy. And then I started to see real old men in the street in Paris or in London and New York. And it's, you know, you started to become you. So it's like all your inspiration start to leave you and to be real. And I started to look at old men because, you know, in a way, I started to be an old man, you know, even at 55, you know, you don't have the same body. So I start to understand that with age, you can be radical, but in a small, sphere around you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you are
Smaller
young,
ways.
you can try everything, but you are not a kind of style figure.
Right.
When you are becoming older, you start to understand who you are. That's your journey. And then you are so radical in the way you dress because it's you and it's minimalistic. And then you start to be an inspiration for other people.
For the younger folk.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. Yeah. You're certainly an inspiration for younger folk.
And you start to follow the old guy.
Do you see younger folks using you as inspiration? Like whether they say
using
that to you
husbands as inspiration?
Sure.
A lot.
That's great.
A lot. And
flattering.
I'm not naive enough to don't see that a lot of brands are copying us, but that's okay.
Really?
Oh, taking inspiration, high-end brands. We know that I have this designer friends.
Yeah.
I have this designer friends, and I have this artistic director who work in branding, and we say all the mood boards have a husband's picture on them. And that's okay for me because,
it doesn't bother you.
We are not the only one doing a great job. And I'm really happy Tailoring is in the radar again.
Are these brands that you think are maybe coming a little close to borrowing the husband's look? Are they like, is it trickled down like fast fashion or is it like the big houses?
For the moment, it's high fashion.
Which is flattering. Because it's not, but when it becomes Zara, then you're pissed.
Yeah. It's high fashion, it's small brands, indie brands, so that's okay for me. But I don't mind about being copying because again, what we are doing is building new things. So you can copy, you can copy the result, but you cannot copy the process.
No.
And you cannot copy the understanding of what we are doing. When I launched Husbands, I had this first double-breasted jacket, and I was really happy with it. We work hard with my pattern maker to make something really sexy. So I showed the jacket to an old tailor and said, "What do you think?" I said, "Yeah, that's not bad, but it's gonna be good in 7 years." Oh, yeah. And I said, what? What are you meaning? What's the meaning of this? You will understand. Mm-hmm. So it was really, Karate Kids.
Yeah.
Suddenly you understand, the symbolic value
wax
of tailoring. Yeah. And now I understand that you need to learn yourself how the jacket has to fall. You need to make mistakes. You need to make prototype. You need to improve. Again, if you want to things stay the same, everything has to be changed.
Yeah.
And, we are probably on the third revamp of our jacket.
Oh, wow.
It's a nightmare. Nobody wants to change. The studio doesn't want to change. The retail guy doesn't want to change, but you are still improving. So I understand that you need to make the mistake. You need to understand why this position of the first button is good. Why for double-breasted, the position of this low cross of the two part of the jacket is good. You need to understand the balance between the width of the shoulders and the length of the jacket, the back jacket.
The proportions.
And that's the process. So guys, copy us.
Good luck.
Yeah. So is it?
But you won't understand why we do this.
Right.
Is it that people are just like printing out photos of editorial, the lookbooks, the Instagram, and putting it on their mood boards? Or is it like people coming into the store and buying things and, being like, what's your email? Oh, it's, James at LVMH. Oh, I mean, sorry. And then like taking the garment, and like, it's both.
It's both.
But they're spending money.
To be honest, to be honest, we are not obsessed by this.
Okay, good.
Yeah. When we check the email, we know all the fashion brands, this books. But I really like that people in fashion houses or, classic tailoring menswear booked our product. I'm super happy. When we organize trunk show, and this is the sell guy, we organized trunk show in Japan at Tomorrowland. And I think we made not Isetan, but it was Tomorrowland. And it was the sell guy who ordered for themselves and said, I'm super proud.
Right.
Because they, all the day, they had, stuff in hands and they choose ours.
Yeah. Right. True.
So it means a lot again.
It's the highest compliment you can pay.
Yeah, and in a way, when you are copied, you need to reinvent yourself.
Sure.
So it's super challenging because you move forward.
It's motivation for you. Yeah.
Is Japan a big market?
It starts to be a big market, but that's a difficult market. And I'm going to tell you why.
Please.
In 2012, it was easy to understand that the functional suiting, the functional tailoring, the classic menswear, the obligation tailoring was dead. People, had no obligation to dress anymore.
Right.
They could go on work, with jeans, t-shirts, no tie. You could go to the opera or the theaters, in a jeans. So no obligation to dress anymore. So it was really easy to understand that we need to build a new values, a new needs on tailoring. Japan is really specific because you still have a vivid functional needs for tailoring. People are still using tailoring in a really functional and useful way. So they work a lot in suiting. They have this tradition to dress when they go to events. So it's difficult for us because we could be in part of a market between this kind of brands who are doing great job, but doing functional. And of course, our vision is totally different. We are making, to sum up, a kind of nightclub tailoring. Even the tweed, when we design tweed, it's it could be worn in a nightclub with a graphic t-shirt. And the guy would have great style. So suddenly you are between a Henry Poole and red jacket and, so market is probably a really strong opportunity for us, but we need to find a right way to position ourselves with the night partner who will push us between, Tom Brown and, Brioni, maybe.
Sure.
But, it's since the beginning of Husbands, wholesale is difficult because of this.
Right.
Because we are between two worlds.
Yeah.
And we are fashion, obsessed by fashion, the story of fashion, there's a beautiful storytelling they build and this kind of always be on the verge to create new things and the beauty of the craft of tailoring and this beauty of things who stay there forever. And so it's really difficult for people to understand that we could be sold with Dries Van Noten, maybe Acne, or, even Loewe.
Yeah.
We are, since the beginning, we face this
you have one foot in like each world.
Yeah.
So you got to negotiate that.
So we, husbands might have a foot in every world, but whether young guys are getting inspired by you or by the brand or by the brands that are copying you, for a young guy that's in the market for their first suit, what do you think? What's the one suit every guy should own?
Yeah, I won't be original on these guys. It's a blue suit or
Navy,
it's a gray suit because it's to be versatile.
Start classic.
Yeah. Don't try stripes or Prince of Wales patterns. But again, you can have some joy doing, and I really like it, and that's the most difficult part.
Right.
Doing the perfect blue suit.
Having fun with it.
Yeah. And you can, we have so many patterns in the room. We have so many options for the trousers. Then you can build 100 different blue suits.
Right.
Double-breasted, single-breasted, long jacket, high-waisted, tapered jeans, tapered flare trousers. You can imagine playing with the shoulder pads, strong shoulders like mine today. It could be a softer. So there are so many possibilities of create your own story, to build your own story. But let's start with a blue or gray.
Right.
Suit.
You need a solid.
That's the foundation, and then from there you make it your own.
You need this third. Black, gray, dark gray, mid gray, and Then black is so specific that it's at the corner of the wardrobe. And I would say, maybe a stripes.
Okay.
Stripes you can. And again, what I want, there is so many passion behind our clothes. Our workshop. When you buy the fabric in the UK, Scotland, you can see these people with real hand, with tattoos, doing this for years. Their grandfather was working in the same factory.
Right.
Yeah.
They are so proud of the
They
craft,
married a sheep.
doing incredible fabric. And then when you go to factory and workshop, and you see all this lady on the old man cutting, stitching, and they are so proud of the craft.
Real craftsmen
because
and craftswomen.
that's real craft. And of course, at the end of the day, there is our passion at husband. So you need to wear it. This is your only obligation as a customer.
To wear it.
It's a word.
I love that.
I don't like to make, kind of yellow, crazy yellow outfits because it will stay in the wardrobe.
Yeah.
And so a blue and a gray, you can wear it in so many occasions. And you can mix and match, just wear the jacket, just wear the trousers. And I'm really proud. What I want is that this outfit, this passion, all this love in the making was then in the street of New York, Tokyo, Paris, London, Milan.
What's the number one most common mistake you think guys make when it comes to suiting?
What I see is, of course, the slimmer pants.
Yeah.
Low rise.
Still.
Yeah, low rise,
Nope.
it's difficult.
You
Especially
don't like
when
the
you have
diesel
a
jeans
small...
that show the butt?
Yeah.
You don't like those? Okay. No butt crack.
No butt crack. That's no mistake is showing
jeans
crack.
Are okay,
Oh, jeans are okay. Okay.
Yeah, jeans are okay.
Yeah,
of
right.
course, jeans are okay. You cannot make mistake with jeans.
But trousers should be truly at your waist, at your true waist.
And not too tight. Please not too tight when you see wrinkles.
No dick print.
When you are thin, that's okay. Everything is gonna suit you. But again, I would say shorts and slim. So short jacket, slim pants, low rise. That's the first mistake people are doing. Because you know what? We tried so many, especially small guy, thinner guys, all the clothes we tried are always too big. Suddenly, when you can be so fitted, you made the mistake. And I did my first mistake with a bespoke suit I ordered to my tailor, my first tailor. And it was really full of AD. So I wanted something really slim. He didn't understand, but he accepted.
Right.
And he accepted. And then it was a failure. Because, I couldn't even move.
Not comfortable.
So, it's for 4,000 euros. Couldn't move in my suit, being ridiculous.
Prisoner of your design again.
So I started to learn that. And the second suit was also a mistake. Failure. Because
how many bespoke suits until you got it right?
No, the other ones was okay.
Okay.
I ordered maybe not that much, maybe 6 or 7.
Okay.
And then, I was broke.
He was a lawyer at the time.
So I started husbands, and the second one was also a failure because I listened too much to the tailor.
Oh, okay. He dressed you kind of.
What I said to my sale guy and people, who want to order things to husbands is we need to balance. It has to be a dialogue. You need to understand what our vision, and in a way you need to accept our vision and, follow our path. But we need also to understand that it's for you guys. And you will wear it in this occasion with this body. So we need to adapt. So we need to find the right balance between units and our vision. And when these two needs is really well balanced, it's a success.
Right. And they're coming back to get the second suit, third suit, etc.
And you can experiment. But I really like when my customers start with banker or lawyer, because started with really conservative silhouettes. The type of one, 19 centimeters, so classic things we are doing since years. And then at the end of their journey at husbands, they have big double
they're a rock star.
And going to their job like this.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Sick.
I saw a change in the corporate world because at the beginning, my customers were really, people were laughing at them. Oh yeah, you have these suits and, and so people, even, the partner in, big office, they didn't dare to wear beautiful suits and say, yeah, people will say that I'm going to a wedding. My young team will, we're going to joke at myself and, kid out. And now the young crowd ask them, where can I buy some good stuff? Yeah.
Where can I get that look?
Yeah. And
I saw this guy in an airport.
Yeah, exactly.
So whether the customer is a banker, a lawyer, a rock star, hitting the nightclub in the suit, you've said that you want the man who is wearing husbands to be the sexiest man in the room, right? What does a sexy man mean to you?
Again, for me, this is the man who knows himself.
Yeah,
confidence. Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't try to copy him, but when you are young, you need to be fed by other people. And it's even more dangerous when you find yourself too fastly. You need to make mistake. You need to understand your body. You need to understand. And, it could be jeans, t-shirts, tailoring. It could be sneakers. It could be streetwear. It could be American style. It could be workwear. When the guy is really himself, here, super grounded, not bothered by the clothing because it's not natural, for me, it's becoming super sexy.
Right. Being yourself is the sexiest thing.
Yeah, being yourself, it's sexy. And it's really what I want to do with my customers is help them to dare to be themselves.
Ooh. Dare to be sexy.
Yeah, you need to dare, listen to you, follow your guts, be the one you dream to be. And then you are going to be, it's why, it's maybe, sexiest guys in the room. It's a kind of, slogan.
Yeah, tagline.
Yeah.
Be all that you can be.
I think that's,
we want
in a
you
way, it's really what we want to do. But I don't want people thinking about this,
We shouldn't look like a clown, but you should look interesting.
It's about, give them the possibility to be who they want to be. And it's why culture is so important for them. Because, artists, they show you the path. Then you understand life better with a great artist.
Absolutely.
It could be painters, novelists, cinematographers, directors. And suddenly you say, okay, I could be, it touched me, it moved me, And it's why we put the culture at the center of husbands because of this. Not because, we need to make marketing with culture. It's real. It's a real thing for us because we want to dress people, real people. We want people who will, maybe you don't have to live the life of another. You don't have to wear the wardrobe of another. It needs to be your own things.
Have you ever done like marketing, like to get the guy you want in husbands? Do you ever do marketing tactics like giving stuff away for free?
Never.
For like influencers?
You're asking for us.
Never. No, never. You know why?
What about podcasters?
Yeah, you are the only one.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Let me just beginning for.
But you don't see yourself ever doing that?
No, since the beginning, because our margins are so low.
Right.
Yeah.
That, everything is expensive at the end of the day. So, and, all these guys, the actors, these people on TV, all the famous people, all the brand are giving so many things.
Yeah.
And, the big conglomerates, they have such power that they can give.
They're paying them also to dress like
to wear
shit.
and post.
Yeah.
To wear the stuff that is copying you.
Red carpet is such a thing for them.
Yeah.
But, I believe that we start to wear, the things in the right way, when you buy them.
Yes. You spend your hard-earned money on something you actually want to wear.
It's like you know.
There's a lesson in there for us.
Is there?
It's like your shrink.
Yeah.
You know, you have to pay it. You know, nothing will move inside you.
Right.
So I believe that when you pay, you wear it.
Yeah. You've
So
earned it.
I'm really proud because all the famous people we dress, I know that every day the big brands want to dress them for free, and they told me.
But they're paying. But they're paying you.
Yesterday I went on stage. And I have the CEO of his brand, and he wanted to give me the crap. And I said no, because I have an husband, and I'm really happy to pay for this. So,
Je suis désolé, monsieur Arnaud.
I'm so sorry. I am désolé. I have a husband.
Right.
Husband
Good.
is there. So I'm really proud of this. We never, sometimes we rent, but never give. Yeah, because I would like to help young guys, you know, young musicians, now young skaters.
Yeah.
The Dare needs a new black suit. What celebrity?
I would like to help young podcasters.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Chic.
What celebrity is the biggest customer at Husbands?
Oh, you know, I cannot say that.
Oh, you can't say.
No.
Mbappe?
No, you know what? Because, you know, people, you know, at the end of the day, people know.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Off the record, I could say the bigger name. It's big.
Is it French or French celebrities?
That's an
celebrities,
American. That's an American actor. But
Miss
you
your
know, that you know, you are well informed. But you know, two things.
Yeah.
Because I think since they pay, you know, they are here to have a real experience, and you know, of course, they are proud, and of course, you know, they like to tell to journalists or their friends that they dress in husbands. But in a way, I need to respect this intimacy.
Of course.
That's private.
No, you don't have
That's
to.
private.
You just said a tailor is like a shrink.
That's why we never, and that's really difficult because
Tailor client privilege.
we can imagine the list of, you know, really interesting people and creative people we dress. And, you know, it's really funny because these people were in my mood board.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, in 2012, they were my mood board. Now they are my customers.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So it's so
from the mood
moving.
board to the
And
register.
I always tell
love
them,
to see it.
I show them the document and say, look, it's you. Yeah. They say, I'm super happy. So probably something had been done really in the right way since they are there. So this is the first thing. They are real customers.
Yeah.
And then, and you know, that's not a gimmick. That's really true. You know, all my customers are important. You know,
all of them
equally.
Yeah. I remember
even the guy that buys one shirt once a year.
Yeah, of course. I remember this young student, you know, buying one shirt, and I spent hours. He wanted to try everything, and now he has a big position as a CEO. So you know,
and he needs suits now.
I didn't.
Is he you?
At the time, I didn't do this, you know, thinking he had a big success in the future. I just do this because we are here to share our passion.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's really, I want people dressed in the street, in tailoring again, and nice stuff.
Well, if they care about husbands and if they're attracted to it, you know that they, at the very least, have good taste.
Yeah.
And like intention with like the things that they want to buy and how they want to present themselves. So it's almost like investing, even if it's a 19-year-old young kid, investing your time in them, like, because they are going to grow up to be hopefully successful and like continue to care, to share the same values that you do.
Investing in his future.
I remember I have to flight, and I was totally exhausted
in a
super rich customers. So he wanted to see me. You know, he paid the flight. It was, you know, a large. In first. This is the first and last time I'm gonna fly in first.
Okay.
So I was really, and so I spent hours with him. You know,
just hanging out.
Yeah. And he said, I want this. So yeah, it was fun. But you know, when I arrived at the airport in Paris, it was 8 a.m. and say, I don't want to go home. I'm going to go to the stores and I'm going to clean it.
Okay.
So I cleaned the store.
That's a Karate Kid shit.
There was this young guy.
Yeah.
And he was super young, not you, but the other one. And I say, oh shit,
I gotta deal with this.
We are supposed to be close. I want, I'm tired.
Right.
I come from,
I was just with Mr. Bezos.
It was not him.
Okay.
Even richer.
Okay.
I was with Tony Stark.
Don
and
Jr.
Then I said, okay, I have to spend some time with him.
Right.
And, I always tell this story because this is part of our job. It's not about selling products. It's about, giving people the desire to dress in beautiful things.
Yeah.
It's a question of beauty.
Yeah.
So it's why I never fed up with, retail.
Right.
Sometimes it's really intense, but, we are here for this. This is our mission statement.
Yeah. Lawrence and I, the first time that we went to the store together, we walked in and there was a customer, not going to say the name, but they had like 8 suits lined up. And they were just like, I think they just cashed out with all of them.
Bag them up.
Yeah.
Bag them up.
And what's the most, it got us thinking, what's been the most that someone spent in the shop at any one time, in one trip? Because this might have been record setting, but then you talk about flying out to the King of Brunei. I don't know.
That's super concrete. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think that much.
Oh, really?
We are not Brioni, or we are not.
You don't have Metallica.
I don't. We have creative people.
Yeah.
Because what we want is that people design their own shoes. So at the end of the day, we want our customers to become their own designer.
Okay.
So it's totally normal that we have a creative people. And it happens that creative people can be really successful and have a lot of, but I don't like the idea of buying 5-6 suits.
This was like 8.
Yeah, because you need to wear it.
And what's funny about this
you
is
need to understand. And often when people are so angry to spend money and say, no, we are going to start with one.
right.
Because we need to check if our measurement is good. And again, with the ready to wear, maybe you have to try again, maybe come in 1 week.
Right.
So we need to organize this desire, So, I don't think, maybe it was, 3 jackets, 4 suits. Maybe
So
we have big
this was the record.
We have big MTM orders.
Right.
What happened? We have
Yeah,
big
of
MTM
course.
orders.
Right.
The guy say, I want 2 stripes, 2 blue shades, 2 dark gray, 1 mid
My
gray.
dream.
Fire.
And of course, that's good for the
rotation.
financial because you need, again, our margins are low. So you need to balance.
Right.
And we really need to spend some time with people buying only shirts.
Yeah.
You
It's funny you talk about spending time because this person who we will not name who bought 8 suits, what was hilarious was that 1 or 2 of those suits were suits he already had but forgot because he had so many.
Yeah, he
So
doesn't, he doesn't wear the,
doubled up.
he doesn't wear the clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just collects them. I don't know. It was
He's not doing his job as a customer.
Yeah,
He's
but
not wearing the
I
clothes.
discovered that a lot of people in other, because I know some, good friends who work in fashion house, but a lot of people are buying stuff that they never wear. Never.
Collects dust in their
Just because
closet.
they need to spend.
Yeah.
And I don't want husband, if something happened like this at husbands, I will be happy because sometimes we struggle. But, again, that's not the point with husbands.
Right.
We want to dress for all people and bring them, big desire to dress, to be stylish. You have your Gary Grant, suit in fresco wool, in the morning, you won't have the same day. It's what I want. When you have, 20 suits.
It's crazy.
That's too many.
Yeah.
Well,
I would like 20.
Let's talk about something you have that I think a lot of guys want. You have a glorious head of hair. What is your hair routine? What's your secret?
That's a mess. I have to give it. You know what? My hair is such a mess that I gave up, and it
This is giving up?
it happened to become a haircut.
Yeah.
Suddenly people asking my hair, who was my hairdresser? But to be honest, my secret, I've maybe I wash it one
I was
time
going
a
to say,
week.
not a lot of
Once a
shampoo.
One
week,
time
a
a
week.
week. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
But that's my only competitive advantage. you
Right.
know.
You don't use any product. You just like let
No.
it. You just
Wow.
let it
No,
go.
no,
Nice.
no,
Just
no,
God.
But they are not that great today.
Oh, come on.
Come
Looks
on.
amazing.
This is
You better pay for the video
Yes.
just to see these follicles.
Yeah.
Also, want to ask you, what is the secret to having a permanent tan?
A permanent.
tan. You're
Yeah. No, I am a French guy.
Yes.
yeah. We're aware.
No,
Very French.
So, two parts of my family are in France since 500 years.
Oh wow.
But,
OG.
At each generation, there is a time like me,
Okay.
who pop up. Yeah, it was my uncle.
Okay.
Then it's me. My brother is tall, blue eyes, blonde hair, like my father was. So probably before this 500 years, I think some Saracen, some Arabic, because
Creeped
they
in.
come from Spain
Yeah.
till France. So I think I have this blood. So the first explanation is that, I'm tan, that's man. The other one is that I bought a house in Portugal, a small house. I'm not rich at all. A small house, and I really enjoy to go to Portugal, probably one time per month.
Okay.
Nice.
And so,
Little recharge.
beautiful weather.
Right.
Yeah.
Get that
And my last secret,
vitamin D.
It's, my skincare, it kills.
Keels?
Kills.
Kills. And you have this vitamin C. Yeah. And that's it.
Wow.
So I think
Simple.
it's maybe, tan a little bit, but that's all.
Okay.
Well,
But
you look
can
great.
joke about my tan, that's not a problem.
Where do you go on besides Portugal? What are your favorite places to go on holiday?
It's South Lisbon, maybe 40 miles.
Is that the only place you go on holiday, or you talked about like Palma, Mallorca?
It's become my only place.
Okay.
I
Okay.
really enjoy to have that small village.
Yeah.
This is
We can't wait to visit
that's
you.
a small country. That's
You gonna have
a
us
small
over?
village,
Yeah,
but-
We'll fly in suits.
Can we come?
Yeah.
Can you have us
and
over?
always in suit, but I start to think about a specific. I go to the beach and I want to, of course, wear high-waisted trousers first of all.
Come on, man.
Like Tom Ripley?
Yeah, right.
Loafers?
So I say,
Yeah, brogues to the
okay.
beach.
So I want to have, my. So we are working on, graphic tees, but I want to wear my French cuff, shirts. Really, open here,
Unbuttoned, yeah.
high-waisted trousers, and that's it. So I try to think about a specific Portugal collection for me.
Oh, like a resort, the resort collection.
But,
Yeah.
super tailor, super classic. But the way you wear it is light fabric because
But no swimwear?
in summer, classic menswear is really difficult to deal with.
Yes.
Yeah.
In winter, you have
Easy.
patterns, you have coat, you have layering, but it's
Nickel
always a
heat
little
tech.
bit Riviera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling so hard. So we need to find a way.
And you can't wear shorts because people will film you and be like, he's a fraud.
Yeah, right. You'll get busted. They'll comment on your Instagram.
So we need to find a way to make tailoring relevant in a more minimalistic way,
Okay.
radical. We need to, imitate the winter fabric, maybe. So we need to find a way.
Can I just ask, when you go to the beach, do you wear a bathing suit?
What?
Trunks.
Slim trunks?
No, yeah. I
Okay.
have a trunk, of course.
Oh, okay.
It's the only time we'll see your legs.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
He swims in pants.
And that's not a vintage one. I think that's an old American apparel I bought
Okay.
Oh, okay.
years ago
Interesting.
because they are quite short.
Okay.
Okay. Are your legs very pale, or are they also tan?
No, that's 10. I'm 10.
okay,
Remember,
okay.
I'm 10. But
It's got
I'm
good
thin.
stems.
You're
So,
thin.
I'm the guy who hide himself on the beach. Because I'm thin. But,
Come on.
you guys have such perfect body.
What?
Whoa.
Clip that out.
We have big backs.
No,
Big backed Americans.
What do
you
you
are surfers.
Stop it.
Okay.
You're here in New York for work, not
Yeah.
holiday, although
Yeah.
this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's why I look tired.
What do you think of the style in New York City?
Oh, that's very frustrating because, the rhythm is so intense. We took so many appointments because we were there to meet our customers with Julian and Azaiak. And it was really, let's be as efficient as we can. So, yesterday we started at 10, we ended at 9.
Yeah.
So it was,
Long day.
10 or 11 appointments,
gonna say,
because that's the
almost 12
important
hours.
thing. So I didn't have the time to hanging out in the streets.
I see.
So it's really frustrating.
So you wanted to see more.
We
I
plan
see.
to come back probably in October. And of course, with day off this time, because I start to feel the appeal of the city, definitely. And of course, people here have such a specific mindset. We are so laid back.
Really? You think so?
Even the nerdy are laid back. Even the geek guys of tailoring are
The classic nerdy laid back New Yorker.
You're
talking about Gian.
In Paris, people are sometimes grumpy. That's a cliche. But people are grumpy, a little bit blasé.
Yeah.
But here, you feel this kind of let's try new things. So, so I don't have a clear vision of what is New York right now, but I start to feel that something really interesting is
Energy.
You know,
yeah.
you know what might help?
Yeah.
Having time here in New York and understanding it.
Yeah.
Opening up a store here.
To be totally transparent, cross finger, it will be fantastic
Yeah?
to open a store.
Because you have a big audience here,
Yeah.
it sounds like.
Massive.
Yeah. We are so French, but in a way, we have such a connection with American customers. Since maybe 3 or 4 years, it became so insane. That's 40% of our digital
Oh, wow.
sales.
Yeah.
With
Is it New
just
York,
this country.
LA? Is it both?
Yeah, it's New York, LA.
Yeah.
Miami, Chicago, Boston, but it's really, really, and a big part of the new traffic on the stores come from the US, and with really cool American customers, and the distance make them probably understand husbands better than the French customers.
Really?
Because
Why's that?
you see the distance. You see all the specificity of husbands, all the details, the fabric, and probably also that the retail space in New York that doesn't offer this kind of experience that guys you experiment at the store in Paris. So I think, we would be super exciting to be there. It's going to be a dream because again, moving to Paris, to New York to Paris, visiting my customers, going maybe in Tokyo, it's going to be a dream because of all these cool guys. Again,
You can learn to skate here in New York.
Yeah, of course. No, but we are lucky. Again, I have a great team and I had great customers. Really, I'm super, lucky. So I think it's not by chance. I think we did something really in the right path, in the right way, but we are so lucky to have this great project. And sometimes it's difficult, because we
Absolutely.
have growth, we have to deal with growth. And that growth, and with Julian, my CEO, we really want to have growth, but improving the quality. Usually growth is, against the quality of your product because you have to spend in marketing and communication. So what I dream about making the brand more important, but growth allow you to have best factory because you have the volumes. You can reach the MOQ. So the idea of new factory is you can, elevate the new standards of quality. So, my idea is grow the brand. Of course, it would be, a kind of slow growth because of this obsession of quality.
Absolutely.
But you said that you've kind of, I feel like your mission statement, your personal mission, your professional mission is to make guys want to dress elegantly, fall in love with the clothing again.
Yeah.
There's a romanticness to it. Do Americans dress like shit?
No.
is your job going to be more difficult in America than it is in Paris, which has a longer relationship with like men and fashion?
To be honest, people has a vision of Paris like super trendy guys. No, that's just of a corner of a city.
Right.
This is 2 blocks. So
There are a lot of French guys who dress like
One
shit.
arrondissement.
And you know why? So what is? Maybe that's a cliche vision, but I think women in Paris, they put more energy in dressing. And that's the same case in New York.
Gotcha.
So we need to rebalance. Yeah, because, again, guys are totally lost. It's really difficult. They don't have to, you need to have a real life. You need to work. You need to love. You need to have adventure. You don't need to spend a lot of time to this clothing. This is our job. Yeah.
I see.
You know,
That's your burden.
I am a naivety guy. You know, all my team is naivety. So our work is to be obsessed for you guys to have real life.
So we
On our
throw
behalf.
the clothes on,
Yeah.
we
I love
go
that.
out and we fuck.
Yeah. And you know, you can skate.
Yeah.
You
You can fuck and skate.
Yeah. And you know, that's the point. You need to have real life.
Right.
But we need to spend hours working for you guys.
Wow.
Yeah. What's the biggest differences you find between American menswear and French menswear?
That's really difficult because I don't think there is a French menswear.
Really?
Yeah, because you know, in 70s, let's say that you know the point is Paris is the capital of fashion, woman. You know, this is couturier. You know, it's Saint Laurent, Christian Dior, Chanel. So it's really fashion for women.
Yeah.
And this is the center of the world. And believe me, this is the center. When you see the Fashion Week, you understand.
Right. Yeah.
So
It's nuts.
that's so huge. But since years, since maybe 1 century, Paris is the center of the world's fun fashion women's wear.
Yeah.
High-end couture. So, you know, the menswear here was just be to join, you know, the woman who dressed
Arm
beautifully.
candy.
So it was really shoot. It was really, so we had a lot of makers, small brand, but it was really classic menswear. But because of the specificity. In US, you have a big market. So you have a possibility of brands. So of course you have brands doing menswear, but they are, you know, essentially making women's wear. So, you know, thinking about menswear in France, I don't have a clear vision. Maybe as brands or, you know, young brands, but, you know, a specific menswear brand, France, maybe it was Lanvin, maybe it was, you know, what's the name? I lose his name. It's not Armani, but, you know, you have this incredible tailor. I will remember the name. So it was really tiny house for really a small, an inch demand.
Yeah.
So not big brand. You had big brands of the market. You had Ralph Lauren. You have a workwear. You know, you can have Supreme. You can have Ralph Lauren. You can have, you know, this workwear
Calvin
brand.
Klein.
Yeah.
Tommy
and
Hilfiger.
This workwear brand, you know, Carts. Yeah, it's crazy. This
Levi's,
brand.
Levi,
Levi.
Wrangler, exactly.
So, you know, so because of the markets. So you have classic menswear, but since the beginning, you had this kind of new product because again, your country is so big.
And our bodies.
And your
Big
story,
backs.
you know, you had, you know, Americana, you have, you know, workwear, you have streetwear. So for me, you cannot compare because you have this specificity in France of fashion, you know, which is, you know, the Fashion Week is such a thing.
Yeah.
And in the US, you have the possibility to have brand and everything. I think, you know, it started this kind of shift between Europe. It's the Battle of Versailles. You know, this is a big moment in fashion.
The Battle of Versailles?
Yeah, the Battle of Versailles. It was a big fight
like the
between
1300
French couturier
Okay.
and American couturier in, I think, 1972.
Okay.
Did you watch the series on Netflix about Alston?
No.
Yes.
There is
Yeah.
there is a moment when they came in Paris.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's the big shift of, you know, American taking the power and, you know, you had the couturier and suddenly you have brands.
Got it.
So it was the
was a
big
battle.
momentum. You know, it was big shift between the old world of couturier and, you know, the
storytelling.
you took the power.
Brand.
In a way, you took the power.
Well, we do know so France might not be, or Paris might not be the capital of menswear, but it is certainly the capital of love, right? And romance. Do you think that wearing a suit on the first date is the right thing to do for a guy?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Oh,
No. I don't think so. Again, you have to be the one you want.
okay.
You know, if you are, if you are, I saw some guy in just, Canadian tuxedo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's such a cool thing.
You look good?
And so,
Yeah.
Yeah, you good.
American
you look
tailoring.
Good. So why are you going to try a jacket?
Right.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
Again, and that's a naive thing. Maybe it's a cliche, but be yourself.
Okay.
If you feel confident in your clothes. But again, of course you have to, you have to be in a way, you have to work on it on this date.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do your
You gotta be interesting.
Do your
Homework,
homework.
yeah.
Do your homework before.
Yeah. Okay. Be interesting.
Yeah.
Be an interesting guy. Nicolas, how much money do you make?
Oh yeah, my salary, no. So, I was much well paid when I was a lawyer.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure.
when I am my communication agency.
Yeah.
But now I'm happy.
Okay, good.
I'm super happy.
Were you unhappy as a lawyer?
Yeah, because I know that I have something to say. Of course, I have this, and again, I have this team, and they help me to understand what I have to say. They are fantastic. So, I'm super happy I don't have a feeling to go to work.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just my passion.
That's why you look so good, because you're
of
happy
course,
every day.
Yeah. No, you are
Yeah.
too kind with me. Because, 10 days of trunk show in New York, you are exhausted. But again, the business is good. We have growth. And maybe we are gonna try to find some new money.
Ooh.
But again, we want to be totally independent, because I think the success of husbands
For sure.
is about this vision and this independence.
You want to grow the right way. Slow.
Yeah.
Slow but steady.
Slow and probably retail space.
Okay.
We know
In New York.
New York.
Come on.
The business is really doing good in Asia too. But of course, what we want to be is a kind of institution for tailoring, like maybe
love that.
Charvet for shirting.
There you go.
You have a place where people want to come to have a great experience with classic menswear. Not only tailoring, but jeans. Or
Yeah.
create your silhouette. So if you want to be an institution, you need to be focused on your product, on your quality, and the retail experience. So you cannot, booming. You
Right.
cannot,
Yeah.
have, double digital growth.
Yeah.
You need to be here, and you are,
Yeah.
that-
You're gonna
that's
build
the
it,
way
and they
we
will
want.
come.
So the business is good.
Good.
The margins are low, but the financial are good.
Well, besides bespoke suiting and besides clothing, what do you like to spend your hard-earned money on? Personally.
Magazine and books.
Yeah?
Reference pieces?
Rare books or just
No, it happens. I stumble upon Japanese old books. One of my great customer come to the trunk show and offer me some indie fashion magazine of the 2000.
Wow.
And it's insane.
Yeah.
That's totally insane.
Skinny suits.
each issue is a collection.
Right.
So I won't give the name
Right. Spin Magazine,
but
2005.
Definitely, I like magazine.
Mm-hmm.
I like fashion.
Right.
So I like indie magazine of the 19s, 2000. I like Japanese menswear magazine. So my two passion is fashion, tailoring. So, you can imagine I can spend a lot of money on vintage magazine, and of course books on architecture, on a painter. In the hotel we have this massive book about Andy Warhol. It's insane.
Yeah.
This book, so I won't say the name because it's probably 20 collection.
Wow. Just right in one
so
coffee
many
table
ideas
book.
about Eddie, about Andy,
yeah.
about the Velvet Underground, about the factory, about what he did in television in the 90s. That's insane. So I really feel the need to cut digital, to cut Instagram. You guys do a great job, but
You need books. You need the physical
I need
copy.
real things.
Physical media.
Since a little bit, nostalgic.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I grew up in a pre-digital world where everything was really difficult to catch. You watch a movie and then you love this movie
over.
and you say, what happened then?
The end.
Yeah.
Nobody. It was VHS. It was you were lost.
You have to rewind it.
Everything was culture was so important. It was part of your identity. If you call a guys with the LP of the Smiths of a New Order, it became immediately your friend.
Yeah.
So where did you find this? In London, right? You go and did you find the sweater in London, the Lamb's Bull sweater? Yeah, of course. I go to the flea market. So it was really important. So everything was difficult to catch, too difficult to grab. Now, my guys, I say, you have to watch. So this is the first snobbish part of the interview. Bergman, Visconti stuff, or Fellini stuff, or,
And like, oh, where's it streaming?
yeah.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah,
I'll watch it on my phone.
Yeah, and Al Hartley, you have to see Blue Velvet again.
Right.
And
The syllabus,
then
the husband
the day
syllabus.
after, they have all their stuff on their computer.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You can imagine.
Yeah.
So
There's no hunt. You don't have to find it.
Yeah, I am nostalgic of. So what I told to my partner, I told her, in April I will leave Instagram.
Oh, wow.
Not husband.
No.
But I
Right.
have a secret.
Oh, you have a secret?
account.
Oh,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Finsta.
I will. Yeah, because I need to give. So I have an account which is really not that mysterious, but is really then. I don't have any followers, but I am on X. I am and I follow a lot of people. And
On
I say,
X?
X is
X.
Twitter,
Yeah.
Twitter,
Yeah,
X. I am on X.
Le TikTok?
No, not TikTok.
Thank God.
It's
not
great.
TikTok. Yeah,
Gotta
I
get
think
on
it's
there.
great. Yeah, that's great. And a lot of people are doing stuff with husbands on TikTok.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, I need the feel to have real
Need to hold it.
things again,
Find it.
to go to flea markets, to buy, old American, stuff about painters, about, I don't know, I have Jackson Pollock or Saul Later, what's her name? But a lot of real things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Real.
Nicolas, the last question we want to ask you before we get you out of here and back to the trunk show, because you have a very important appointment in 12 minutes. Do you have any constructive criticism you'd like to give us? We're such big fans of you and what you do. I think we're new friends.
Mm-hmm.
How can we be better? Please give us some of your wisdom.
That's because I made so many mistakes with husbands. So no.
So you're not qualified to give advice.
Was this a mistake?
No, yeah. No, that's a pure moment of choice, guys.
Okay. So we're perfect. That's good to know.
Joy division.
No,
Should we podcast in suits?
When I met young entrepreneurs, the first thing I told them is start now. Don't postpone the perfect moment. Do it. Then ask people if you have questions, call them.
Right.
And people will answer. And you can be pushy. If you want to meet, a kind of super well-known designer, try to catch his email and send him an email. People are totally, passion is communicate.
What's your email?
Sorry?
What's your email address?
You will.
Yeah, we.
You have it. You have it. No, I
So do it.
I made so mistakes. So, but what? Maybe challenge yourself.
Okay.
Always trying to. Yeah, that's a cliche. Think out of the box. But since I don't come from the fashion world. Everything is new to me. What are we doing this? What are doing collection? Why we need pre-collection? When to do what we need to do wholesale? What you have to questions because everything is new. I'm naive. I was a lawyer,
superpower.
and then I had this great digital communication agency. So it's always, I'm not afraid to be naive.
I love that.
That's it. And stay humble.
Naive and humble. That's all you need, folks.
Because,
We're getting one of those.
I really like to say to my team, at the end of the day, guys, who are making cuff, who are making, we are making the alteration for the trousers. We are, at the feet of our customers.
Yeah.
We need to be really humble. We are doing this for our customers, and we are nothing without them. So even if people are talking about you in a really nice way, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But we are not saving life, but let's do our best. And keep it up with this obsession of the satisfaction, and of course, great product and great experience. That was a maison in the 70s. A maison, a house, luxury house.
Making cuffs.
It was close. It was not that huge.
Yeah.
It was not mega brands. It was a small community of people who were, who were understanding, the product, the couturier. And the couturier was totally obsessed with his customers and creativity. And yes, be creative.
Yeah.
Nicolas, where can the kids follow you on social media? Maybe you want to plug husbands and not the personal
or
one.
the website even.
What do you want to promote? What do you want to plug? The floor is yours.
Oh no, guys,
Husbands.
Husbands, and please follow the Instagram.
Yeah,
because
it's a good one.
Again,
so much inspo.
On Instagram we share our culture, so we always share what we like. The article we put on the website, but also we share some video on YouTube. So it's really where you can catch and of course you will have a picture and go on the website, and please pay us a visit, if you can come.
Pull up.
And of course, I would dream to have a store in New York, because you could be, in America, and then you can be in Europe. So you can, and then in Asia. So in each
Husband's empire.
In which country you could have a kind of.
It's a must stop in Paris. If anyone that's listening to the show is there, you just swing by.
Yeah.
It's worth all your time.
And
100%.
I'm gonna see if you can squeeze me into the last day of the trunk show tomorrow before you fly back to Paris. Nicolas, thank you for coming on to the Only
Appreciate your
Podcast.
time.
I had a great time. I was a little bit worried.
No,
come on.
shut up.
Eduardo
Shut the
told me
fuck
they are going to be rude.
No.
Us never.
Yeah.
No, and we didn't use any slang.
No, it was great.
Good. Chef, take us out.